Shazam. Here, let me. Checking connection. Hey, awesome. Hopefully it won't be too harsh, that light. I probably should have checked that beforehand. Hey, how you doing, Jacob? You cool with sitting in the chat, or you want to come on screen? Because I could probably make that happen pretty easy. And Mama Legos on Instagram. Just thought I would cross stream it to 4 platforms. You're falling asleep. Is this day one with the kids? Hello, Lego Artistry by Andre. How you doing? Sorry, the phone's a little further away. It's the biggest phone, but still. I'm chill with whatever. I'll bring you on. Let me send you. It's always good to have a friendly voice in my ear. I will do it through Messenger. Just because that's handy. Oh, my stomach not liking tonight's pizza. All right. Jacob will be the friendly voice in the ear. Dabotsky, how you doing? Just give me a second to get my act together, guys. Everyone who's on Instagram. Bought a cool little stand for the phone. It's nice and weighted. I'm still putting a rubber band around it just because I don't want the phone to ever tip off it, especially since I'm leaning it a little bit forward. So just because Instagram's not getting a full view here, I got 3 calendars. I know everyone's opening the current one, and that's cool. And I really hate the fact that everything is backwards on Instagram. I'll have to figure out if that's an easy fix or not. But yeah, I got the 2018, 2020, and 2021 calendars handy. I have 4 more, which I guess I'm going to do next year since they're in storage and I wasn't smart enough to pull them before I thought it was a grand idea that I should be doing this. Yeah, I get it. That's the thing. I went and grabbed a drink, man. I get parched. And the more you talk, the more you drink. For sure. So yeah, we'll let it simmer for a second or two. Day 2, just got them to sleep. Nice. But I'm liking these little builds. I mean, I'm never going to go out of my way. You know, when I first discovered these things years ago, it was discounted like 10, 15 bucks Canadian in a Walmart. So in the back of my head, you should never be paying more than that discount price for these things. Clearly, these are not meant for an old guy like me. They're meant for the kids. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, it was quick to get a drink. How's it going?
Shazam. I commented earlier how your audio was better. Your audio sounds cleaner, and I don't know how much of that is. I hadn't listened to you in the longest time.
Yeah.
And maybe I just still thinking the old way that you had stuff, or, like I got, this is a Razer headset I bought maybe a month ago.
Okay.
Or if you're just, like you said, you might be closer to your microphone. It's
That
clean.
might be the case. Who knows?
It is clean and very sharp. It sounds like a professional mic. I don't know what you're using.
It's literally the laptop, the built-in mic on the laptop.
It's very good, surprisingly, because I'll tell you, laptop mics are garbage.
Oh, yeah.
The microphone on my laptop is defective. So what I do is I don't just mute the mics for my other cameras. I direct it to the laptop microphone because it doesn't work. because StreamYards is funny sometimes. Even when you do
Hmm.
echo cancellation, I actually turn that off because I find it doesn't work.
Right.
It's not reliable. There's a lot about StreamYards that's not reliable. But yeah, it's funny the workarounds we found for this setup.
Right. Right.
So I've been enjoying doing these three little builds. It's funny. I actually thought about going to Walmart today. Not that I wasn't already going, because guess who had more packages to pick up? It's
Hmm.
literally it's Christmas here right now, and I know my wife's not pleased because I'm not going to repeat. Now you already know what I bought three of. One is here, and
Oh
it's
my.
and that is big, and the other two are now safely in storage.
Hmm.
And because they're flips, that's what they are.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
no longer show off a lot of that stuff because people are real. They give me grief.
Yeah.
Why are you
Yep.
buying so many? You made it so my kid can't get something. I hear this stuff like whatever. I just don't want to hear the drama anymore. So it's easier not to have it on the screen.
Yeah.
But I'm not even kidding you when in the one corner from the desk height
Hmm.
to about 6.5 feet high, there's presents. It looks like presents, right? It's all these brown boxes.
Oh my.
Canada Post at Walmart every day picking up packages. And today was the worst because Walmart held me up for 25 minutes.
Wow.
Yep. They wouldn't answer the phone to pick up. I'm sitting there at their orange counter to pick up. And I get on speakerphone and the lady's behind me. What's wrong? I go, listen, they're not picking up. I end up going to customer service with my phone still ringing. I go, you guys aren't picking up. Can someone pick up? I'm holding it right in their face, right? I'm so obnoxious. And it's the one day I didn't bring my employee badge or anything. Like, it's a good
Hmm.
thing too, because that was just the rudest thing I've ever done. It's like,
Jeez.
and I'm trying not to be. And
Yeah.
I mean, they're under a lot of stress. They are, and Walmarts are always understaffed at this time of year. They cannot bring in enough people. They try, but even the people who want to come in, half of them very quickly realize they don't want to work there for whatever reason.
Hmm.
I mean, plus it's Christmas and it's cold and it's this and it's that, and they don't want to come to work.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind because, like, for me personally, I've been job hunting, so that might be a place I should consider trying.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something from the inside,
Okay.
and people won't think this. Walmart can be, and in Canada, I'm going to speak from Canadian perspective because you and me are Canadian.
Yep.
Is one of the best companies you can work for.
Okay.
Commit to it. Don't just look at it as this is my first job, right? Because this will probably be your first real job.
Not including Stampede. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Everyone starts somewhere, and sometimes
Hmm.
it's not the greatest, or it's not what you envision.
Yep.
But there's so many opportunities, and I don't mean just going through the Walmart organization. Like,
Hmm.
they can help you with college. They can help you with so many things.
Whoa.
If you could, seriously. Oh yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You can get a piece of the pie. There's just so many benefits that can be very competitive, especially at your age coming in, that you may
Hmm.
not think that's there. But of course, you won't know about it all until you get inside and they bring you through the employee starter meetings and stuff. And
Hmm.
there's just a lot of potential. And maybe it's you start on the floor or you start in the back and you work your way up through management. Then they help put you through school, matching you dollar for dollar for what you spent on college. This is all
Wow.
available through Walmart if you're open minded to it, and if you don't mind working. And it's not a hard job, and they have a lot of respect for equality.
Hmm.
For it's not the lowest paying job in Canada. People have this huge vision they're the lowest paid. No, and they can be competitive, especially as you do different things. And just be open to the idea. And not just
Okay.
Walmart. A lot of companies that you might think, oh my God, I can't work at McDonald's. McDonald's puts a lot of people through school, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, I heard
So
that. Yeah.
I don't know how good Timmy's is. I can't speak because on Timmy's as a startup employer for people,
Okay.
getting into the workforce for the first time. But I haven't heard a lot bad, so that's got to be something, right?
Right.
But of course, anytime you're dealing with people, just like me today,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
this time of year, and what traffic was bad. Weather wasn't bad, but traffic was bad, and people, you know, we're not at our best when we're under stress, and this is a stressful time of year. But if you can get past that, or maybe whatever company you do join, maybe you won't be that frontline face. Maybe you will be the guy in the back, and that's cool too, right?
Yeah, you get to
I'm in
take things
warehousing,
in.
not because I dislike people. I deal with plenty of people in the back.
Hmm.
I, I went to college for office administration legal, and I didn't want to be that person answering phones and being that frontline face person that people are going to see coming into the office, because I did it, didn't like it.
Hmm.
And it took me a little while to figure out that's not what I wanted to do. I don't
Right.
view my time in college as a waste, because at least I got some skills. I learned that I am trainable.
Hmm.
And that's an important thing too. I don't know what your considerations are for college, university, or if this is your time to save up for it or whatever. But
Probably save up and then figure out. I don't
fair
know.
enough. Everyone's got a different path through it.
Oh yeah.
Just don't spend a lot of time and a lot of money in going down the wrong path, right?
Right.
That's all. Like that's my advice to anyone young starting out. I'm never going
Okay.
back to school full time. I got one degree and the other one I'm not finishing, and it's like that's it. I can't go back to school. It's a
Okay.
young man's game. I don't care what anyone says. How you
All right.
doing, Vern?
That's good advice. I appreciate that, Rick.
I and college is not for everyone. Maybe the direct to work and say screw college and just
Yeah.
nose to the grindstone, and try one job, maybe try another one on weekends just for giggles, see what happens. This is the time to join and quit jobs. Just don't make a habit of it, right?
Yeah. That kind
Because
of
that's a
goes with
bad
your
thing too. Because
reputation.
I've got friends now who are my age in warehousing, but instead of having built up a long time with one or two or three, they're changing
Oops,
jobs
sorry.
every 6 8 months, and that doesn't serve you too well either. Well, thanks for joining us, Kang. Appreciate it. And wow, and you're on YouTube, great, because I
Sorry about
find it's
that.
no problem. I find people joining us from that part of the world tend to be on Twitch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I'm starting to get a tiny bit of traction on Twitch. I don't know what's happened all of a sudden. Someone's sharing something. I don't know. I don't understand Twitch. I'm not going to pretend to understand it. But yeah, let's see what I got for these calendars. So have you done any of these calendars yet for anything, for
I
anything?
own the two that you like. I've already built them when they came out.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you blast through the days, right?
Well, the thing is, my dad, he buys them for me as a Christmas gift. He gives it to me on Christmas.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
like, well, okay, might as well just open it all up at once.
Yeah. I really, honestly, when I started buying, I had no intention because I'm not terribly fond of them. But
Yeah.
then, the last 2 months, I was thinking, I know what's going to happen. Everyone on YouTube's going to start opening one calendar or whatever the current season's worth of calendars are.
Yep.
And I thought I really wanted to get off my butt and stop procrastinating and start streaming, even if it's short, to do it more often.
Yes.
And I figured, what a great excuse. I'm obligated to try and do it every day. So it's kind of a mental exercise to get
Yeah,
better at
yeah.
this stuff. And
Which one
that's
would
what
you
I'm
say is
trying
your
to.
favorite so far?
Well, it was nice yesterday to get 2 figures out of 3. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the first day I had no figures, and it's like, oh man, I'm not a big fan of the micro builds, as cute as they might be. I'm not a fan of micro builds. Give me a
Yeah.
figure any day over a micro build.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was nice to get figures, even if I didn't know some of their names.
Yeah. I get
Number
that. I get that.
3. And of course, it was sad when I opened my first one and didn't realize, like, where's the instructions? And I think it was Ryan who said, it's, on the other side of the door, dummy.
Yep.
I didn't know. I've never watched anyone really do these things because I don't have interest in these calendars. I think
I
this is awesome to give to a 5-year-old or, someone closer to
Mhm.
that range than what I would call a hardcore collector, builder.
Oh yeah, my dad gets them for me because like he knows I love exclusive minifigures. Like I just eat that stuff up,
That's
and
the only
so
reason I
like
tell anyone to buy these, because you're
oh
going to
yeah,
get at least one, if not more.
yeah,
And
and he himself has been quite impressed by the figures that are included in the advent calendars. Um,
yeah.
from the Christmas sweater Vader to I don't know, just an army builder figure like a stormtrooper or whatever.
See, I don't even know. I don't know what set this is supposed to be.
Uh
Like what
oh,
shipment?
that's from Freemaker Adventures.
Oh, is it Freemaker?
Yeah,
And I've watched the cartoon because I bought the
pretty
two
sure.
sets or whatever. The Freemaker Adventures I weren't great. I tried to like it, and the sets, whatever. I mean, the Arrowhead I still haven't built. Um,
I was actually
Again, I'm not
planning
the
on going
market
out of
for
my
the
way to
show.
buy a Freemaker set around the time that I received the Advent calendar, and I realized, oh, it comes with the one Freemaker character I wanted.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, this works. I don't need to fork out $100+
yeah. Oh,
I mean, like to be
you're
fair,
laughing.
nowadays I'm opening up more to just buying the figures off of Bricklink, but
Yeah. I mean, I was there. I know, like in 2012, when I had entered the Lego collecting market in a big way
Mhm.
after being out of Lego for like 30 years, 30 plus years, giving away my age. I was enthralled, or not enthralled. That's a poor choice of words. But I was really into the idea of, I could just buy the figures I want. I don't have to commit to sets I might not like, because sometimes it's the figures that are great and the sets suck.
Mhm.
And it's like, so I went nuts and I was buying Facebook figures and Bricklink figures, and then it's never what I was spending on the figures. That was never a problem. It's the shipping,
Yep.
and the shipping would kill me. Um, yeah. I largely don't buy figures unless I'm missing them, but I don't buy much in the way of used anymore. And this past year has been my slowest or worst year for garage sale stuff.
Really.
Just because in Toronto, it's not that we banned it, but they made it so hard and awkward for people.
Mhm.
If you went outside of Toronto, garage sales were fine, but in Toronto, um, there just wasn't a real push to be able to have them and play with those things.
Mhm.
This is funny. I almost think I'm missing parts.
Oh no. Well, that
Can you
has been
believe
a
that?
common theme with some of the Advent calendars. I think the
Really?
Harry Potter
I'm
ones
looking
are
at
more
two
common.
missing, maybe black. Oh, and you know what it is? It's not black studs. They're trans clear blue on black.
Oh,
Ta-da! Not terribly clear, but I understand. I'm looking at it now, and like, oh yeah, there's a tinge of
I've
blue.
n- I've never been a huge fan of the Advent calendar instructions. It's too much leaning towards figure it out yourself kind of instructions.
But there was a lot of that to the original Lego, so I see that. I mean, the problem-solving skills alone,
Mhm.
like, you know, to do the secondary builds on all the classic space Lego, there was no instructions.
Really?
Yeah, so you had to, you look at the back of the box and you're comparing the parts and you go, okay, this is connecting there, and there would be one or two times where you had to extrapolate because you couldn't see something, and you had to, through a process of elimination, well, what's missing?
Jeez.
Some people call that the best days of Lego, because now we spoon feed you.
Yeah, that's true. I think the recent 4+ sets are really spoon feeding, though. I don't know if you've seen how the instructions look like. They literally
Mm.
have the pieces. They have like two pieces in a drawn hand, and it's
Oh
like
no.
it's a weird thing that they did for 4+ instructions nowadays.
I'm just looking here. So they don't even include this build anywhere in the box art, so it's kind of a surprise.
Yeah, yeah, they don't always reveal all the stuff in there.
Okay.
Like the same thing goes for the figures too. They don't reveal all the figures. I mean, like sure they do the chase figures at the
Hmm.
very front of the box, but there's some figures that are normally army builders that are included that they don't advertise.
So let me see if I can showcase this now, since we got something to actually look at. There we go.
I have to figure out which one is that based on because I know it's Freemaker. I remember looking it up before and it was Freemaker.
Okay, so that must be the Arrowhead then. This must be a small version of the Arrowhead. It's the only thing I could think of. If it is Freemakers, like you said,
Hmm.
then it's got to be the Arrowhead, which to me is such I got it severely discounted. Like they should have been paying me to take it off their hands. It was that cheap.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. Sorry, I'm just confirming. I'm looking at Arrowhead right now.
oh yeah, okay. So there we go. I remember some of this stuff. not so bad. But let's see. I'm just doing a numerical order.
Oh,
Only
now
because at some
you got
point I
this
need to
year.
catalog this stuff. So
Honestly, from what I saw, it was included in this year's Advent for Star Wars. I asked my dad because he always gets me the Star Wars ones. I'm like, Dad, don't get me Star Wars this year. Get Marvel.
really, you were disappointed in them?
I felt that it.
Because I'm looking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good-looking figures.
I mean, like, to be fair, most of the Advent ones are just exclusive torso prints, but the amount of
Yes.
detail in this year's torso print is like, whoop-de-doo, a scarf for Mando, for example, and the rest of the figures are like, I basically already have them or don't have a use for collecting them. So I was just
How
like,
you
yeah.
doing, Ryan?
Oh yeah, hey Ryan.
What do I think of the figure packs? That's a good question. Oh boy. Well, you're asking Mr. Battle Pack here, right? So I have everything to date,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm buying all three. And I mean, I think given the theme of like the UCS AT-AT, and we got an ATST Walker coming and all this,
Mm-hmm.
seeing more Hoth related stuff, I think there's definitely a section of the collecting market that's going to like it.
Yep.
I'm going to love them no matter what. The cruddy builds are cruddy builds. They are what they are. No one buys any of those for the builds.
I
Let's
might
see.
get it in May because I have to try and save some Star Wars stuff for May because, me and my promos. So
You're still
if I buy all the
scheming, are
Star
you?
Wars day one. Sorry?
You're still scheming?
Not as much nowadays. Like I've stopped scheming last month because again, I said last night, $300 for a blanket.
It's, and it's funny being a Lego guy now. I'm going to criticize people like, why would they spend money to get that for a fleece blanket or whatever it is? I don't understand. I understand Lego and Lego collecting, Lego sets,
Mm-hmm.
rares, whatever. I don't understand the accessory market when so much of that is not even made by Lego, is branded by Lego at best.
Mm-hmm.
Like remember the keychains, the Han Solo one and the VIP one and whatever, the
Yep.
heavy pewter ones. They're made by RDP in the UK. They're not made by Lego.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, you know how close Lego gets to it? They don't even get to their facilities. It's sent straight from UDP to Walmart or to Toys R Us or to Lego. So it doesn't even touch Lego's hands and then go out. Yeah. I mean, which is not uncommon. Don't get me wrong. Plenty of companies do this in
Mm-hmm.
different industries, but it's not Lego. It's not a buildable product. That blanket's not a buildable thing.
It's just
Whatever.
a licensed product with the
Mhm.
logo on it.
I'll give you a good example of licensing. RCA, you've seen that logo, I'm sure, right?
Yes. They
Okay,
make
so
like the
RCA
micro.
used to be involved in, stereo equipment, audio equipment. The connectors are called RCA connectors. Long
Mhm.
history, right, in North America. RCA is a garbage name now. It's a brand that anyone, you and me, we can pay money. We can go license it. You want to make an RCA tablet, RCA camera, an RCA coffee mug warmer, branded as RCA. You pay your license fee. You get to do it.
Wow.
RCA doesn't do anything anymore. They haven't in a long time. And it's not that Lego's going to get to that point, but yeah, those accessories, it's not Lego. Not Lego. If you find joy in it, I'm not going to tell you not to buy it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Well, the
it's not
coins were a
Lego.
fun thing, as well as the
Oh, the
Mario
coins are
keychain.
wicked cool.
Oh
And
yeah.
coin collecting is something. And if you're a Nintendo see, I mean, that's where it branches into other things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a blanket collector going out of their way to buy that Lego blanket. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
do see coin collectors. I see especially Nintendo fans going out of their
Mhm.
way, and that's where something cool like an accessory can bring people into the market. Because
Yep.
maybe this time they buy something, one set, and they get to say the Nintendo coin. They'll come back and they'll buy something else they like. Maybe the fancy Nintendo TV system set.
Mhm.
Maybe some future Nintendo set, or they'll branch out into something even better. So I see the business side of it, like it's brilliant, but yeah, if I miss some of that stuff, I don't care. I don't cry. I don't spend a mega fortune to get it.
Oh yeah, like I was mentioning last night that I was missing that one VIP coin. I've been having that one in my cart for a longest time now, and the fact that I know now that the price has dropped, I consider it as actually a good thing because like I think that coin was as high as $60, and now it's as low as 40. So
Right.
$20 saved just for waiting.
Oh yeah. And there's a lot to be said about waiting when it comes to Lego. Like I buy a lot of day one stuff. I'm the first to admit it, but
hmm
only because don't want to miss it. So you got FOMO working against you, but not just
hmm
that, because some stuff does disappear. There's no guarantee. Oh, they say, oh, something will last another year. We don't know that. Moss
hmm
Eisley will last another year in the market. We don't know that. And Lego can flip, you know, any second on any decision they make. Because people say, "Oh, I'm going to wait and get it later and do this and that," and be careful because you
Yeah.
wouldn't be the first to get burned.
Oh yeah. I get that.
And we all know a set you don't buy now costs you more later, almost always.
Yeah, yeah. I got a few on my wish list that retail for like $50, and now if I want to get them, they're like 200 sealed.
Yeah, and it's a lesson I learned early on, and I've had this talk with my wife before and stuff like if I and I'm an impulse buyer. If I want it,
hmm
I am going to get it probably early. And if I don't want it or I want it a lot less, then that's clearly something I should be buying discounted because clearly I'm not willing to pay full price for it
Yeah, yeah.
or I'm
I've
not
been
willing to
getting that
gamble on it.
mentality as well. Like, yeah, like for the Mandalorian Starfighter, I liked it for the figs. The build didn't look appealing to me, especially for that price point of what was it, $80. Um, I went
Yeah.
and looked randomly on Marketplace one day, and I saw this ad for guys selling it for like $50, and I was like, oh, okay, where you at? Oh, you're right down the street from me. Okay, here's your $50.
Nice.
So yeah, I get the whole thing of like waiting until it's a better deal to deal with.
Oh yeah, I don't criticize anyone for doing that. And especially if, the funds aren't there, then it makes sense,
Oh yeah.
or if it hurts to buy it now. Too many people are buying stuff and it hurts like, "Oh my God, I can't do this." And like,
hmm
dude, don't do that to yourself. The stuff's not worth it. So this one's pretty cool. This looks
Oh, I
like,
remember that one.
yeah,
It's a good micro build, but it's weak in terms of like, oh, woohoo.
there's a 15-minute segment on YouTube where someone's done some of their own Star Wars filming.
Hmm.
And one of the things they did was they filmed a segment of Luke's uncle and aunt. They're having a domestic dispute.
hmm
So it's basically done to the tune of bad boys, bad boys. What you're going to do, it's the stormtroopers on Tatooine, and
hmm
they're clearly looking for the droids, maybe looking for Luke. And so they're answering a domestic dispute on Tatooine. And
hmm
it's Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and they're having, one smacking the other one around, and she's complaining about him and all this stuff. And then in the distance, you see some Jawas and stuff, and there's this whole little domestic thing that goes up. Next thing you know, we see that whole domicile here blow up. So then we see the charred bodies of his aunt and uncle. Now, of course, we think it's the Sand People, right?
Uh-huh.
From the Star Wars movie, but no, this is a domestic dispute gone wrong, right? It was such a. You got to look it up on YouTube, and it's. I'll see if I can find the name of it. It can't be that hard to find because it's
All right.
really old footage now. It was probably done in 2001, kind of, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
and so it's going to look kind of grainy and fuzzy, kind of on purpose too. But it was just brilliant film work done. But they did about 4 segments or 3 segments, but the last one is them answering the call to Luke's Tatooine home, and it's just brilliant because it gives you a whole different angle of what could have happened to his aunt and uncle. Because
Right.
we've always been fed the story, well, it was the Sand People or whatever, or the Jawas or whatever,
I always assumed it was the
or the
stormtroopers
stormtroopers
because
looking for the droids, yeah,
yeah.
but not that it was a domestic dispute gone wrong, right? Gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're triggering memories now that, yeah, they made out to be the stormtroopers, but it's like, yeah, the way they filmed it was a domestic dispute, and I just loved it because I love fan films, fan flicks, all that when they're
Hmm.
done well. It's like I assume you've watched the Vader movie, right? Have you seen the Vader movie
No.
done by the Canadian in BC?
It rings a bell. It might have popped up in my
He
recommended
funded it
one.
with pretty much his own money, $100,000. Went to LA, filmed it,
Oh, didn't
Te-
basically
and
Disney.
Lucas Disney crapped on him at
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think I might have seen it then.
Yeah, no, super super great stuff, and but at first they made it really rough, and there was a huge outcry because it got taken down, for a while, and then there was a notice on it, and I mean
Hmm.
clearly things have changed on what you are and aren't allowed to do on YouTube when it comes to such media,
Yep.
but he poured his heart and soul into that production. But let's be honest, this is not his IP, so we
No.
can't cry too much that yeah he spent a fortune on it, but it's like, buddy, this is not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in 50 years when copyright disappears for it, but not now. And trust me, Disney is the number one guy when it comes to trying to defend their rights, real or perceived, when it comes to this stuff. They're now going after Stan Lee's family, who has the rights to a lot of
Really?
them. Yes, so then they're now going back after Stan Lee, who's had the rights since whatever amount, whenever that deal was made with Marvel. Well, now they're looking at it as, we don't want to perpetually pay the Stan Lee family forever on this stuff. So they're now trying to reopen this legally. And they got enough lawyers to make something happen to the point where Stan Lee's family might just say, okay, let's just settle for a much, much, much lower amount, which is honestly, that's what Disney really wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to be paying forever for all this Marvel stuff, 20 million movie, 10 million movie, whatever it is. It's some ridiculously high thing
Yeah.
for creators' rights. When, to be honest, I paused for a second on my Instagram one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi went out for half a second.
Oh no.
Yeah, happens. But yeah, it's because a lot back in the day when Stan Lee was an editor and a writer and this and that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you worked for Marvel, it was pay for play. You created something, you were paid for it, and then you went home.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel owned it. Before Marvel, Sunbow Productions, and then Timely Comics before that.
Hmm.
So I see both sides of it. But
Mm-hmm.
if the legal standard these days is that creators have a piece of the action, unless contracted otherwise, it really sucks that after the fact, after it's all been settled, now you're reopening Pandora's box, especially when the guy is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And, in his last few years of life were miserable because, well, his kids are pretty nasty. Straight up. Straight up. And I love Stormtrooper, so I don't care if it's a regular Stormtrooper or the same print. Anytime I get a Stormtrooper, that makes me smile.
Does it come with a blaster or?
Not in the bag, it didn't.
Okay, so
No.
normally in situations like that, do you want me to spoil this for a quick sec? You care?
Sure.
Normally for situations like that, it's either going to mean it's going to be included later on as like a weapon storage system container or whatever, or they're going to give them something funky like a snowblower machine.
Well, I do see some sort of gun mount thing
Yeah.
that I guess he's going to get paired up with later.
Yeah, that's probably where the weapon's at then.
But honestly, it's the figures. I mean, that's the reason to buy these.
Oh yeah. They're good for army building, and the exclusive figs too. They even
Well,
sometimes throw in
only army
people
building if these are really cheap, like $5 or $10.
that. Oh well, yeah.
I would not buy these at half price just to army build these
Oh yeah.
troopers.
I meant just like adding a random
Although
figure.
if the figures move up $5, $6, $7 a figure, that'd be okay. Then it might
Oh
be
yeah.
worth it. But that's a pretty cool figure.
Oh yeah, hands down.
So that's my day 3.
Sweet.
Yeah, I do it. I do it as a mental exercise. Force me to stream every day.
Yeah, 30 minutes
Or
about every day. It's not
yeah,
bad.
and clearly that's a lot of stretching because I've seen people's bills like, here you go, 3 minutes, 30. I've seen mostly as shorts, right? And
Yeah.
to the credit, honestly, that's what this stuff is worth. These are shorts, but I did want to go live. I did want to talk to people, and it's like, hey, I probably get the same number of views I do on any other stream. So actually, if
Mhm.
you look at it from what I spend to the time I put into it and what I get out of it, it's like actually works out pretty good. I really can't complain.
Hmm.
It's not a
Right.
bad deal.
True. True.
It's kind of like, if I could take the CMFs and turn that into a daily series for half a month,
I mean, like you
that would be just
probably
the worst one.
could.
And today's CMF opening,
You
it's
could
like,
you could try and identify the figure, even though you know what it is, probably.
oh, well, that's the thing. So I usually get so I've gotten probably the last 8 series of CMFs from Jonathan Hudson.
Yeah,
When my
I
daughter
remember.
grew out of the whole let's go to Walmart and feel the bags thing, so did I.
Hmm.
So it's like, well, if I don't want to do it, I'm just going to buy the sets. And he
Yeah.
goes, do you want to open? Do you want me to open? I go, yeah, I want you to make sure they're there. And if there's a chase figure, I need that the chase figure, or we don't bother. Well, he's always make sure I get everything.
Yeah.
And he goes the extra step. He then packages them back up once he's sure I've got everything. He puts them in a little foil baggies so they're
Hmm.
concealed. So when I open them, well, first
Oh.
you can't feel it because it's a thicker foil than Lego uses for their packaging for their plastic. So I can't tell anyway. And I don't know if I have them handy. I used to keep some, but no. Give them to my daughter last time. It's funny. I used to think of them as little druggy bags just because they're so small. But
You need your daily intake of minifigure.
oh, I tell you, yeah. Let's see here. But yeah, I've done really good, and it's a very minimal fee on top he charges, so it's very fair.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and he says he'll hook me up on the next one. As long as he can get them, then I can get them.
Yeah, we got series, what is it, 22 coming out next year. For me, it's
Yeah.
22, and then the Mario Wave 3, I want to say. No, that doesn't sound right.
So from one, so when it comes to CMFs, I've got from one to whatever,
Hmm.
including gold. What I don't have is the German soccer balls. I don't players. I don't have the Olympic team. I don't have a lot of the specialty ones, but anything that's a regular one I have. And then when it came to that Nintendo stuff, I have the first one. So
Hmm.
whatever other ones they did, I didn't get those. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm probably
Hmm.
going to continue buying them as long as I can get it through him or someone willing to give me an okay deal on a set. But the
Right.
days of me going into the store and feeling them out are done. Although I tell you, the last time I did it, when it was the astronaut, I think we talked about the astronaut and the left shark. I
Okay.
was all over those, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, in the Toronto area, I was buying the sharks everywhere and the astronauts everywhere. I'm sure I was pretty annoying, but people going in seeing, 3 open boxes and no sharks in any of them because they were hot. Everyone wanted them, right? And
That was
and
the
for a
same
lot of people, that's all they want.
situation.
But I
That was the
love
same.
feeling them up in the bag because
Yeah.
say a mother would come by with a kid. Well, they don't know, and I said, "What do you want?" And they would say, "I go, I feel 2 or 3 bags." I go, "There you go."
Hmm.
And then the lady
Yep.
goes, "How do you know?" I go, "Trust me, I know." I go, "Go open up outside the store. If not, come back, see me. I'll buy it off you." I never had one come back and buy it off me.
Yeah, yeah.
And not that I was perfect at it. It's for some stuff, it's super obvious, right?
Yeah.
Unique hair pieces or unique weapon or accessory.
Sometimes it's even as simple as like, okay, the torso, one is a hook for a hand, one is the regular minifigure hand.
Yep. I think one of the Disney ones was the worst because the duck bills, there was, maybe 2 figures that had duck bills or the tails. I mean, or the skirts, if multiple figures had the same skirt kind of piece. Yeah, it's always frustrating when you have two with something similar. Then it's like, no. I tell you
Yeah, I
what's
know.
annoying though. My local Walmart is bad for people opening and stealing. Very
Yep.
bad.
Hmm.
Now they're taking sets of this size, same size as
Hmm.
these calendars. They're starting to strap them down. They put the security electric thing on it, right? The wire thing with the ball with the black thing on the front, and then they zip tie that to the display shelves, either on the lowest one or on the top one. It's like, so I can't even turn the box around to look at it. And if you do, you'll trigger the sensor. It's like, I don't even want to touch it now.
Maybe they'll go on clearance then.
If you're around tomorrow night when I do New Bricks at 9 p.m. Eastern, when I do that, you're going to see what Lego did to what Walmart did to one of my shipments.
Oh,
It's enough to make you cry.
oh no.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm going to need a heat gun. It is
Okay.
bad. It was shameful. And it's not the first time, and we've all seen it, but it's like, oh man. But I have a good story about the set all around. Like, that's worth the price of admission, that one set.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I'm going to shut this down. Thanks,
Sweet.
Jacob, for hanging with me and being
Yeah,
the
no
little
problem.
voice in my ear, keep me company.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Maniac, Jacob, Kang from Vietnam. Thanks for hanging around. Vern, as always. Walmart did you dirty? Yeah, I know. Don't they know who I am? They would clearly not do that to me if they knew who was receiving it. And the worst part is, digitally, they do know who I am because, like, we put in our employee information when we order to get an additional discount, right?
Wow.
And it's, oh yeah, it's like, oh, you guys, there should be a nice little red flag, treat this one better. Nope, they treat me the same as they treat you. So if that makes you feel better, I don't know, but because they screwed me too. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I got day 4 for this. Who knows? Maybe in the morning, maybe lunch. I don't think it'll be tomorrow night. I'm going to try and do it earlier. And then we got New Bricks this week. Most expensive New Bricks this week ever, probably. Wow. No, actually, it's pretty fair. It's pretty fair to say that. And it's a good one. Lots of stories for virtually everything there is a story or trials and tribulation. There's something going on with everything. Almost nothing was trouble-free. Low drama. Poor me, first world problems. Boo-hoo. What's T-Fan saying here before we go? I've been a little Lego fix using Studio to recreate the Exoforce sets. Oh, that's a good use. Building stuff you can't buy or don't want to buy because it's just stupid money. Stud.io or LDD is so much fun once you get used to it. Download instructions and just build away, and then you could tweak it and make it whatever you want, and then 3D render it. Do a color repaint of something if you think something's stupid. I'm waiting for someone to do a UCS Millennium Falcon and do it in hot pink or something. Or make it in every non-existent Lego color. Can you imagine that? All those parts, but choose a color you can't buy it in. I think it'd be awesome. I mean, that's a huge time suck, but once you do it, it's done. I mean, because you can like with LDD, Stud.io anyway, you can build it in clear or build it in gray, and then you paint it afterwards, whatever color, and just choose colors it doesn't come in. I think it'd be awesome.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you played with Stud.io?
I think I played with Digital Designer, and I've heard of Stud.io, but just haven't bothered downloading it.
That's the Bricklink version, and honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's better, but everyone gravitates towards one or the other. There's pros and cons to both. Eventually, it'll be one. Lego will consolidate it at some point. It just hasn't happened yet. All right. I think we're good. We squeezed that almost 45 minutes. I told my wife, yeah, this is 15, 20 minutes tops, because I was supposed to drive one of our friends home.
Oh.
I blame you. That's what I'm going to tell her anyway.
All right.
You're my scapegoat tonight. All right, guys. Catch you tomorrow.
Catch you later, everyone.
Peace. And